वैराग्य विद्या निज भक्ति योगा शिक्षार्थमेक पुरुष पुराण श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य शरीरधारी कृपां बुद्धिर्यतमहं प्रपद्ये मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. Warm welcome everyone in the study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So we study Srimad Bhagavad Gita. See, a child has, normally speaking, a child like behaves in two ways. Huh? One way is what? Very sweet, very jolly, very happy mood, very easygoing, so adorable, so cute, so loving. Na? Everyone wants to uh, play with that child who is very easygoing, loving, sweet, and who is just jolly, who is just fun to be around, who doesn't show any tantrum and all. And yes, who is just playing, and it's such good fun. Who is very sweet, innocent, and even though naughty, mischievous, but knows okay, this is some mischievous, but bringing fun. That sense. So one child like that who is truthful, honest child. Another another form, another behavior of child is what? When sometimes a child goes very self-obsessed, very loop-like. Self-obsession is such a dangerous loop. It is the heaviest dangerous loop. And the epitome of self-obsession is Mayavad, that I am God. That is the epitome of self-obsession. The ludicrousy of self-obsession leads to where? To this understanding that I am God, to this belief, to this conviction. Hmm. There are many, and then they pose themselves to be like God. They pose themselves to be God. They create followers. Ah, there are thousands of followers of such rascals gods. So one of the form or behavior of a child is like self-obsession. Child then goes in loop. Now, mother, father, or any other family members, whosoever, they could be telling something to the child, trying to distract the child, or saying something to the child to help the child come to the, say, the practical world. And give something to the child to play, eat, and all. But if the child is hung up, say if the child is hung up with one thing, I want ice cream. And if it is not given to the ice cream is not brought forward in front of the child by that time, then the child will listen nothing. He will go in complete, like the world has shut down for him altogether, whatever you may say. And even if the ice cream is still presented, he's so hurt, he wouldn't want to talk perhaps. Huh? He would go in complete, like no one exists. Sometimes some children, they are seen to behave like this. And so that is what we are sort of. Uh, Sometimes we go very carefree. We want to be like a child who is very carefree, who is very fun to be around, good to be around, happy, jolly, honest, innocent, uh, sweet, mm, and joy giving altogether. And sometimes we get so egoistically drawn, we become so heavily self obsessed, uh, or we become like, if whatever I want, if it's not there, then what is the point? This self pride, it is a sense of self pride, it is a sense of self importance, high self importance, high self esteem, high self appreciation, high self appraisal. And these are killers. These are killers in the path of pure devotional service, because they are not uh, aimed towards any service towards Krishna. They are not aimed to bring any joy to Krishna. For the soul proper, the connection is through Krishna. Krishna is the source for the soul proper. For each and every living entity of us, Krishna is our source. And if we do not connect to the source in a loving relationship, but rather than that, we try to free ourselves, say, from matter, but become so obsessed in this self pride sort of, oh, very dangerous, very dangerous. So this whole journey, like we'll realize many times we'll see ourselves in life. We are like this. Uh, uh, Actually, we can, maybe someone can check out for himself or herself, and we can see the world at large to me does not seem to be does not seem to be behaving like that child who is very out and about, who is very peaceful, happy, jolly. No. And the world many times seems to be more like a child who is very closed, who is very closed, or in between. For one can check for himself or herself, where do we stand? Do we stand, come more closer towards that sort of child who is very much out and about, or towards that sort of child who is very closed, or are we in between? Uh, or we are out and out and about, but if something slightly here and there happens, then we go very closed. So all these are heavily bodily identity covered within the modes of material nature. They do not do not belong to the soul proper. They are not the real identity of the soul proper. And saturation we can only find when we are in a loving relationship with Krishna. So with this hope, mood, prayer, aim, aspiration, we continue our study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and we begin with chapter 18, the last chapter in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, and we start from text 1. Let us see. So maybe Anuja can read translation and purport. Chapter 18, the perfection of renunciation. Conclusion, the perfection of renunciation. अर्जुनुवाच सन्न्यास्यस्य महाभावो तत्त्वमिच्छामि वेदितं त्यागस्य च ऋषिकेश पृथक्केशी पृथक्केशी निषूदन. Okay, whenever you are ready, Anuja can read translation and purport.
Arjuna said, O mighty armed one, I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation, tyag, and of the renounced order of life, sannyasi, sannyasa, O killer of the Kesi demon, master of the senses.
Purport as well if possible. Anuja, can you read purport?
Ashish, give me a minute.
Reynolds, you read first paragraph of the purport.
Okay, so perfect. Actually, the Bhagavad Gita is finished in 17 chapters, and 18th chapter is a supplementary summarization of the topics discussed before. In every chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna stresses that devotional service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the ultimate goal of life. This same point is summarized in the 18th chapter as the most confidential path of knowledge. In the first 6 chapters, stress was given to devotional service, yoginam api sarvesham, of all yogis or transcendentalists, one who always thinks of me within himself is best. In the next 6 chapters, pure devotional service and its natural and its nature and activity were discussed. In the third 6 chapters, knowledge, renunciation, the activities of material nature and transcendental nature, and devotional service were described. It was concluded that all acts should be performed in conjunction with the Supreme Lord, represented by the words Om Tat Sat, which indicate Vishnu, the Supreme Person. The third part of the Bhagavad Gita has shown that devotional service and nothing else is the ultimate purpose of life. This has been established by citing past acharyas and the Brahma Sutra, the the Vedanta Sutra. Certain impersonalists consider themselves to have a monopoly of the knowledge of Vedanta Sutra, but actually the Vedanta Sutra is meant for understanding devotional service of the Lord Himself. Is the composer of the Vedanta Sutra, and he is the knower. This is described in 15th chapter. In every scripture, every Veda, devotional service is the objective. That is explained in Bhagavad Gita. Um, should I go?
Anuja, if you can read. Okay, Renas, you need read next paragraph.
Okay. As in the second chapter, a synopsis of the whole subject matter was described. In the 18th chapter, also the summary of all instructions is given. The purpose of life is indicated to be renunciation and attainment of the transcendental position above the three material moods of nature. Arjuna wants to clarify the two distinct subject matters of Bhagavad Gita, namely renunciation, yaga, and the renounced order of life, sannyasa. Thus he is asking the meaning of these two words.
Mm.
Two words
Let
used.
me read maybe this third paragraph and translation.
Okay.
Two words used in this verse to address the Supreme Lord, Rishikesha and Keshi Nisudanam, are significant. Rishikesha is Krishna, the master of all senses, who can always help us attain mental serenity. Arjuna requests him to summarize everything in such a way that he can remain equipoised. Yet he has some doubts, and doubts are always compared to demons. He therefore addresses Krishna as Keshi Nishudana. Keshi was a most formidable demon who was killed by the Lord. Now Arjuna is expecting Krishna to kill the demon of doubt. Translation: Arjuna said, O mighty armed one, I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation Tyag and of the renounced order of life Sannyasa. O killer of the Kesi demon, master of the senses. So beautiful chapter conclusion. Actually tells something in the very first, in the introduction itself of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada has given us the conclusion in the introduction itself. Mm. So, and this chapter, the perfection of renunciation, conclusion, the perfection of renunciation. So, in introduction, Prabhupada has given us the conclusion. Conclusion is what? Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. Conclusion is Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God, that God is singular. Uh, God is singular, and the very definition of God means Supreme Controller, the Almighty, All Powerful, All Capable. One who is all powerful, all capable, almighty. That so that is the very definition of God, and that is the conclusion also. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we being say parts and parcel of Krishna, we are meant to love and serve Krishna, and that is where our highest joy resides. And in two shlokas, the whole Bhagavad Gita can be summarized. Na? Manmana bhav mad bhakto madhyajimam namaskuru. So become my devotee, pay respect to me, pay homage to me, think of me. And what? Uh, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam saranam vraja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshashyami ma sucham. That abandon all varieties of religion. Just surrender unto me. Do not worry. I will free you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Do not worry. That is the conclusion. That is the message. mm, That we all take shelter of the Almighty, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. See, who has not taken shelter? Everyone is sheltered. All of us. Every one of us are sheltered only. Now it is a question like say take this as a question. Who is not surrendered to Krishna? What do you say? Who is not surrendered to Krishna? Is there someone who is not surrendered to Krishna?
Um, maybe Krishna himself.
Krishna is also surrendered to himself. He does not uh, violate something as in the scriptures or the Brahmanas or what he has
Okay.
said. Say.
Okay.
It's like a bit normal question, no? Who is not surrendered to Krishna? Surrendered as in Krishna is living by his own nature, no? Pure nature. Krishna lives by his nature, means Krishna lives by his limits, say, or he does. Krishna never transgresses. That is the thing. He never transgresses his boundaries, rights, limits, say, capacity in a way. As in, he never takes any undue advantage or no. Krishna does not know any of this. He does not know cheating or exploiting any of this. Everyone is surrendered to Krishna, theist or atheist, whosoever. Hmm. Someone who is a devotee or someone who has not yet found his resolve in the practice of Krishna consciousness, we all are surrendered to Krishna. Just one is now someone is taking shelter of the internal potency of Krishna and someone the external potency of Krishna. Hmm. Someone could be surrendered to Yogamaya, someone could be surrendered to Mahamaya. And this human form of life, especially this devotee association, gives us this option, encouragement, choice that we can transform ourselves. We can transform ourselves, we can transform ourselves from the shelter, from the care, or say from the custody of Mahamaya, of the material energy, fully unto the custody of the of Yogmaya, the internal energy of Krishna. And this human life is the transitional life. So many transitions, no? So many junction points from human form of life. Another, again, we can become human or some sort of animal, some sort of plants or demigod body, whichever. And from this, if we elevate our consciousness, as in if we cannot live without loving Krishna, if we cannot live without thinking of Krishna, if we cannot live without serving Krishna, uh, that much of obsession that we just cannot live without him, then we can attain that bhav, that swarup, Krishna's bhav, swarup, Krishna's bhav. He says, na, many a places that I will give you my own nature. What is Krishna's nature? Satchidananda Vigraha. So we will also attain the same. Mm. A life of eternal joy, bliss, happiness, knowledge, clear crystal all together. That doesn't mean that there's not variegatedness or there's it's going to be boring or mundane or no, nothing like that. It can never be boring or mundane or repetitive or monotonous. No, More and more thrill there will be there, more and more adventure, more and more excitement, more and more anxiety also. Lots of anxiety actually. In devotional service, if we are practicing devotional service, but if we are not getting anxiety, then we need to check uh, why are we not getting anxiety? The Brajvasis, they used to get so much anxiety, no? So many demons coming, sometimes this happening, that happening. Lots of anxiety. Anxieties are bound to come. They are there to help us, check us, keep us on the right track, right path. Uh, So if we are not getting anxious for practicing Krishna consciousness, if we are not getting anxious in the practice of Krishna consciousness while practicing Krishna consciousness, then maybe we are not practicing it properly. We have not really understood a bit properly Krishna consciousness. Um, Krishna consciousness means what? Bhakti means what? It's an engagement, no? It's an activity, an engagement. And in this engage, it's not like idle meditation. No, very very active meditation. No? So in this, and we can engage ourselves from all our senses. So when we take into Krishna consciousness, one can take more and more projects, more and more responsibilities, and take more and more anxiety. If we are not going to be the torch bearers or say take forward the message of Mahaprabhu, who else will? Well, someone will, but we will miss out big time, big time. So let us not lose this opportunity. Let us not lose this gift which we have been bestowed upon. At least as practicing sadhakas, we have definitely tasted some joy nectar, some bliss in the practice of devotional service, japa, reading, hearing, seva. We have tasted. Now we further intensify, we further go more in it, we further expand on it. Why not? We relish little bit of nectar, then we should actually, now we should go for the full, complete, full circle all together. Uh, Leave nothing behind on our part. We are holding on to something, and that is why we are being held back. Because we are holding on to something. And when we hold on to the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna, then there is no holding back. Then we are not holding back, no. We are tatastha yonina, we are the marginal potency. So we need definitely ashraya. We need shelter. Now, same question, either Mahamaya shelter or Yogamaya. But we need shelter. So now, if we want to march ahead, move forward, then we take shelter of Yogamaya. Then no more holding on. Then no more holding back. Otherwise, if we take shelter of Mahamaya, if we hold on to something, then we'll take shelter of Mahamaya, material energy, Durga Devi, and then we'll be very pushed back, pushed back. And this is not Durga Devi's fault or someone's fault. It is my fault only, my personal individual fault. Help has been given to us since eternity. Help is around the corner. Complete help to make it all the way through in this life itself. Question is, do I want it? So this we have to check out for ourselves. Uh, Perfection, conclusion, perfection of renunciation, sannyas. Sannyas means samyak roop se nyas tyag. So complete giving up what desire for sense gratification. Giving up all faculties, thoughts, desires, agenda for mundane material sense gratification. More a Vilas Kunja Diyavas. Then only one desire. What? Vilas Kunja. Uh, Residence in Braj. And what we'll do? Nayane Heri Posada Yugalu Parasi. We will drink the nectar from our eyes by watching them. That is what. Highest seva actually is Mahanasi seva. Topmost, na? Very top, very subtle. As we go subtle, we go more pure, na? As we go more and more subtle, we become more and more pure. We have to be very subtle in our association, selection, lifestyle, what we do. See, Krishna consciousness is not like a kitty party engagement or a social party engagement or a cultural, social, religious sort of setting. No, no, no. It is not like a general dharmic sort of setting. No. Param dharam means proper law of love only there. That unconditional, unmotivated love. And the joy of being in that loving relationship, the joy of serving, the joy of serving Vaishnavas, the joy of serving the divine couple. So it's a very active process, very active process. And the more we perform, the more joy we'll find. Do we ever experience in societal life that anxiety is so blissful? No. Anxiety kills us in societal life, but anxiety in devotional service purifies us all the way through. Okay, any thoughts, questions, or comments? hmm
Hare Krishna. Um, I guess I've been asking maybe similar question before, but I guess it's a little bit different. So what I was thinking is that sometimes when we are faced with like a maybe difficult situation in life, we um, we try to deal with the situation, right? And maybe when we are in this process of dealing with this problem, we kind of like maybe we sometimes fall into this illusion that we think that we can we can do something by ourselves. We can control the situation. So how to, you know, even with within these situations, how to, you know, um keep surrender to Krishna, and then kind of like not fall into this illusion that, you know,
Yeah,
I'm controlling
practical,
something.
no? Very, very practical. All of us go through it. This is why morning hours is very important. Before fighting, before engaging in war, what did Krishna do? Krishna made Arjuna listen. But Baba, before you go start fighting, first listen. Hmm. So likewise, before we participate, say, na, before the modes of Rajogun, passion, ignorance touch us, we come to the mode of goodness, and then beyond mode of goodness, we aim for. So, see this, no? That a very nice devotees share this. We should mm, work in a way that everything depends on me. We should act in a way, work in a way, act in a way that if I do not do this job, if I do not do this task, nothing is going to happen. It is not going to happen on its own. So, and that I have to do this and pray in a way that everything depends on Krishna. Both work in a way that, okay, if I do not do this, it is not going to happen. And pray in a way that if Krishna does not sanction it, it's not going to happen. So we need both of that. And this will be more clear first when we offer ourselves to Krishna, when we start building a relationship. And the further strengthen our relationship with Vaishnavas. And in Vaishnavas particular, like say our Siksha Guru, Diksha Guru, very important. No? See, if we cannot spot some divinity in some divine person in a Vaishnava, If we cannot see him as a representative of Krishna, how possibly can Krishna have some trust in us? No, Krishna will tell, oh, he's a casual. We have to single out, na. We have to single out, uh, and yeah, the more strengthened our relationship with Vaishnavas, respect wise and even attachment wise. Uh, Attachment cannot be with many, attachment with very select few. So when we are attached with a very select few Vaishnavas, then Krishna will say yes. Okay, he's now singling out, he's wanting exclusiveness. So act in a way that everything depends on me, but pray in a way that everything depends on Krishna. That is the way. When we offer ourselves, we build our relationship with Krishna, then we move forward in life. And Krishna is no, mm, they say, God helps those who help themselves. See, Krishna never took up arms for Arjuna, no. Arjuna had to fight himself only. He had to fight himself. Krishna was driving the chariot though, yes, guiding him, motivating him, inspiring him, everything. He was telling him, oh, watch out, arrow is coming. Uh, okay, watch out, here, there, shoot him, shoot that. All that Krishna, and same Krishna will do with us in our life's journey as well. When we give the chariot of our life to Krishna, He is going to guide us. Mm, And it won't be, don't take or think that it will be a easy ride. But when we elevate our consciousness, externally it might appear very difficult ride. But internally, no, not for us, no, no. Because when we are connected in a bond of love, then it doesn't look like a easy or difficult, does not come into consideration then. When it is a bond of love altogether. And we want to be used by Krishna. That should be our mood. Krishna, kindly use me. Kindly make me your servant. We are being washed either by Yogmaya or Mahamaya. Now it depends who do we want to impress in a way. Who do we want to please? If we please, somehow manage to please Yogmaya, then yes, arrangement can be there for us to take part in the eternal pastimes of Krishna. Otherwise, since eternity, what new have been doing in this material world? Nothing new, nothing different. Everything same, just packaging is different. Rest all is the same. Like many medicines, na composition is the same, just packaging, branding, company is different. Same. Sense gratification is the same. The sort of sense gratification dog has, the same sense gratification humans also have. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Just packaging is different a bit. That's it. What else? So this will come about when we uh, have a sort of relationship, loving relationship with Krishna, loving relationship with Vaishnavas. Then life will be very different. Our perspective, vision, thought process, action, everything will be very different. Uh, Same things will come, but we will be thinking differently. Events, activities could well be the same. And we have to come to this complete reliance that act in a way that everything depends on me and pray in a way that everything rests on Krishna. And that means whatever we do in life, it should be one goal. Radha Krishna Prityarthana, to please Guru and Gaurang. That should be the only criteria. And when we are driven by only one such criteria, then come what may, we shouldn't be shaken, and Krishna will be very pleased. See, if tests do not come in life, how can we grow? We can never grow, na? We can never grow. So these are welcome. And along this process, if we keep good association, we will see ourselves growing. Does that somewhat answer your question, Renas?
Yes, thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, let us read next. Shri Bhagwan Uvacha Kamyanam Karmanam Nyasam Sanyasam Kavayo Vidu Sarvakarma Phalatyagam Prabhustyagam Vichakshanam. Anujari translation purport.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the giving up of activities that are based on material desire is what great learned men call the renounced order of life, sannyasa, and giving up of the results of all activities is what the wise call renunciation, tyag. Purport. The performance of activities for results has to be given up. This is the instruction of Bhagavad Gita. But activities leading to advanced spiritual knowledge are not to be given up. This will be made clear in the next verses. In the Vedic literature, there are many prescriptions of methods for performing sacrifice for some particular purpose. There are certain sacrifices to perform to attain a good son or to attain elevation to the higher planets, but sacrifices prompted by desires should be stopped. However, sacrifice for the purification of one's heart or for advancement in the spiritual science should not be given up.
Read that last sentence again.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the giving up of activities that are based on material desire is what great learned men call the renounced order of life, sannyasa, and giving up the results of all activities is what the wise call renunciation, tyag.
Read the last sentence of the purport.
There are certain sacrifices to
No,
perform.
the one below. Last
However,
sentence.
sacrifice for the purification of one's heart or for advancement in the spiritual science should not be given up.
Hmm. No, sannyas, na? Sannyas means what? Samyak roop se nyas. Nyas means to give up. San means completely. And give up what? Desire for sense gratification. Material desires, no? Sense gratification. What sort of desires? Oh, I be the enjoyer. Hmm. I be the owner. This desire has to be given up. Now we discussed one question. Now see, like Varnashrama Dharma is what? Varna and ashram. Ashram is like a place, a shelter. Ashram is like a shelter, a place where shramik, a sadhaka, does some shram. Shramik, a sadhaka, does some shram. Shram meaning effort. So a shelter or place, like say na, you want to learn the boxing. So you go to a boxing gym or a boxing club, na, and there you make effort. One makes effort to learn boxing, to train, get trained. Hmm? So that likewise ashram, where shramik does shram, and for what end? To what? To attain Krishna prem. Now in Krishna consciousness, only in Krishna consciousness, in other yogas, na, only in Krishna consciousness, only in Bhakti Yoga, there is no difference between sadhya and sadhan. Sadhya means what is the end? What is our end? Krishna Prem. That is what we want. We are anchoring for. Eh? And sadhan, what is the sadhan? Japa, Harinam, that Navda Bhakti, 9 stages, 9 process, 9 steps of Bhakti. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Vandanam, Atmanivedanam. So these 9 stages of bhakti, that is the sadhan, through reading, hearing, chanting, uh, then remembering, then offering prayers, friendship, uh, service, serving in friendship, mm, servitorship, dasyam, and finally what? Atmanivedanam, complete surrender, say. Mm. So these are the stages or the processes of the performing bhakti, sadhan and sadhya. Sadhya is what? The end. So means and end, there is no separation. So when one attains Godhead, it's not like okay, he stops doing japa. And the Godhead, attaining Godhead doesn't mean okay, it's like no one can attain Godhead through robotic japa, first of all, mechanical robotic japa. In Godhead also, the chanting. Chanting means what? Glorification, na? Kirti. Chanting means joy of the heart. So praising the divine couple, uh, the sweet loving divine couple, and doing everything for them. That bit. So it is only in Bhakti Yoga and Krishna consciousness where there is no separation between sadhana and sadhya, the means and the end of worship, the means of worship and the end of worship. But rest in all other yoga process, karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga, ashtanga yoga, there is a clear separation between sadhana and sadhya. You do some, you use some tools and techniques, they say. We don't say Bhakti yoga, we won't, mala is not like a tool or technique, no. Japa, kirtan, uh, reading, hearing, chanting, listening, these are not like tools and techniques, no. This is life and soul. This is the process. This is the thing. This is non-different. And so this is the thing. It is not like an object we are using. That okay, once we use this object and once we have attained elevation, we don't need to use the object anymore. It's like you use a ladder, you come to the top, then you kick out the ladder. No, no, no. That is not the process in bhakti. Now also we are doing japa, and once attained say Godhead, we will be doing japa. But now we are doing japa in a very offensive state. Hmm. Then somehow we go into offenseless state and then pure state altogether. Right now, very raw situation, uh, like a raw mango, then ripened mango, then fully ripened mango. So Varna ashram, 4 Varna and 4 ashram. Ashram is shelter where a sadhaka performs devotional service, trains, practices, and Varn is like his this class. Uh, Ashram is what? Brahmachari ashram, student life. Grasta ashram, then family life. Then Vanaprastha ashram, retired life. And then Sannyas ashram, completely retired. No more societal engagement of any sort. Complete dependence on Krishna. And then what? Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasi, and Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. These are the Varnas. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Now, a general question, see, look, in any country, not everyone is a taxpayer. In any country of the world, not everyone earns money. Hmm? And also those who earn money, not everyone has to pay tax. No. If someone's salary income is very low, he does not need to pay tax. Huh? Now, some men, some women, they may not be earning any money, but still they get the benefits. The same street, someone who is earning money, not earning money, the same street, one can walk on everything. Uh, But say someone is not earning money, mm, but that does not give him any license that he can disobey traffic laws. No, everyone has to follow. So someone who is earning money also has to follow traffic laws. Someone who is not earning money also has to follow traffic laws. So meaning this sannyas is a consciousness, it's a principle, and which is to be imbibed by everyone, male body or female body. It is not like, okay, someone who is living in a temple only. Huh? It's not just for them. No, it is a principle that has to be applied for everyone. Yes, those who are living in temple, yes, there is that tradition, decorum, facility, no, brahmachari ashram, wearing saffron, and then a brahmachari wearing saffron can go into grasta also, get married, and then from marriage life he should move forward towards vanaprastha, and then vanaprastha towards sannyas, or a brahmachari right from saffron he can take then sannyas, bypass grasta and vanaprastha. Yes, that's room, that scope, that exposure, that is very much there in Varnashrama Dharma. But say speaking truth, it is not that only sannyasi should speak truth. Every ashram, grahastha, whosoever. Hmm. Of course, grahasthas are given some license, some freedom. They can little bit because they have to deal in money and all. Na? So that scope is there for raising children, family and all, to a bit lie and things. But sadhu, he should be pure, he should be nirmal, he should be very swachh. A brahmachari and sannyasi, there should not have no mental material dealings in this world. No. A sannyasi, so he's through his consciousness, he should be so elevated that he does not belong to this world. And it's a very higher realization, very, very deep and high realization. But it is not restricted just to someone in a male body. It is a principle. It is a principle of consciousness. Doesn't matter male body or female body. Main thing is giving up sense enjoyment, giving up I, me, and mine. This tendency one has to give up I, me, and mine. And in that I, me, and mine, separate from Krishna has to be given up. As it said in the translation Parapatna, we don't want, we are not averse towards activities and we are not in liking towards activities. No, we are in liking towards Krishna. That pleases Krishna, we are pleased by that. If something does not please Krishna, it does not excite us. Hanumanji, na? He was gifted that moti, jewels by Mother Sita. But he saw, okay, there's no Ram here. It broke them away. What good use of it, me? So, which does not please Krishna is not of good use for us now. And if pleases Krishna, then yes, we are all for it. So, we are not averse or in particular partial to activities. No, we are more towards Krishna. Mm. So, that which purifies our heart, that which simplifies our heart, cleanses our heart, we are all ready for going through that process to attain the love of Krishna. We want Krishna. We do not have anything in particular to do with purity. But our only thing is, yes, in order to attain Krishna, we need to be pure. That is why we are after purity. Otherwise, we have no agenda, no business with purity. So independently, we do not have any business with anything, purity, equality, and all. But everything in relation with Krishna, yes. Krishna is supremely pure. So for us to have this friendship with Krishna, handshake with Krishna, we have to also become pure. That is why we are interested in purity. And this purity is irrespective of a male body or female body or brahmachari, sannyas, vanaprastha or grasta. No. This pure, everyone has to become male, female, whosoever. That is what we should be aiming. Those who are in a male body have their advantages, lots and lots, and disadvantages, generally speaking. Generally, a male body mind works in a different way, good and bad both. And same applies for female body. So we all have our own struggles and we have to go beyond those struggles. Any thoughts, questions, or comments? So nothing to give up, but to add more Krishna in our life, to add more quality in our life. And then what has to be given up will be given up in due course of time. Asatsang has to be given up. Temporary, this thought process independent of Krishna, that has to be given up. And somehow in devotee association, always remember Krishna lovingly, out of love, service for Krishna. We have to go very deep in our bhajan. We are living casual life, Baba. Very easy, chilled out casual life. As we were discussing yesterday, no, we should not be listening just like, okay, for some mental soothing, mental calm, peace. No, not that we get some intellectual appeal. No, not that we get some egoistic satisfaction. Yes, this is Hindu Grantha. Not with that. Oh, this is Hindu scripture and all. Yeah, no. Our should be, yes, all ears up. Why? To attain Krishna. And now this shopping, eating, uh, traveling, holiday and all, they would appear very mundane and boring and dull. Mm, very mundane, boring and dull. One who has taken physical sadhu sangha, one who has gone for book distribution and harinam, and if not, one should take physical sadhu sangha, go for book distribution and harinam, and taste that nectar sweetness. Nothing can be compared to that joy of going out distributing books, of going out doing harinam, reaching out to people in the streets. Wow, that joy. That is like taking Krishna to people's homes, direct giving them home delivery. Na? Taking the temple. Books are not less than temples. Na? Books are deities. Taking the deities straight to their home. Taking the sound vibration, transcendental sound vibration, straight to their heart. Such a best service. So do not shy, do not deprive yourself from this service. And once one gets some taste hmm, by causeless mercy of a pure devotee, when one gets such some taste, one should go for the full. One should not then lose any focus. We should not lose any sort of focus. If we lose focus, then we lose the blessing. We miss out the blessing. In the Sena, in America, other places, what? You snooze, you lose. Uh, So when we lose focus, then we miss out on the blessings. And the best way to stay blessed is by staying focused. This is what we can offer to Krishna. I'm still focused. I'm still focused. Krishna would be so pleased. Wow. His focus is his pakka. Like in Mahabharata, Arjuna told to his teacher, I see nothing but the eye of the bird. I see nothing. That was his focus, that much focus. Uh, Nothing but the lotus feet of the divine couple, nothing but the service. Eternal engagement, nothing but that. Okay, any thoughts, questions, or comments? त्याजं दोषवदिति एक कर्म प्राहुर्मनीषिण यज्ञदान तप कर्म न त्याजमिति चापरे. So Harsha read translation purport.
Some learned men declare that all kinds of fruitive activities should be given up as faulty, yet other sages maintain that acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance should never be abandoned. There are many activities in the Vedic literature which are subjects of contention. For instance, it is said that an animal can be killed in a sacrifice, yet some maintain that animal killing is completely abominable. Although animal killing in a sacrifice is recommended in the Vedic literature, the animal is not considered to be killed. The sacrifice is to give a new life to the animal. Sometimes the animal is given a new animal life after being killed in the sacrifice, and sometimes the animal is promoted immediately to the human form of life. But there are different opinions among the sages. Some say that animal killing should always be avoided, and others say that for a specific sacrifice it is good. All these different opinions on sacrificial activity are now being clarified by the Lord Himself. Some learned men declare that all kinds of fruitive activity should be given up as faulty, yet other sages maintain that acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance should never be abandoned.
Yeah. So this is Krishna speaking. How much he values Shastras, see, how much he values Brahmanas. Nowhere, see, Krishna is saying some learned man declare. Nowhere we see Krishna offending someone. Although this is not the Krishna conscious take that all kinds of fruitive activities should be given up as faulty and furthermore something. We purify, we purify. So Krishna never says, okay, some fools say like this and sages say like that. No. He speaks very gentle, very sweet. The day we become good listeners, then we advance in Krishna consciousness. When we become good listeners. Just by listening, just by listening. By listening, a desire will awaken. This by listening, prayers will come about. By listening, desire will awaken. We would want to then act, we would want to then serve if we are listening. And genuine desire, everything will come about by good listening. Arjuna did what did he do? See, other than listening, did he do? Participated in the listening. He participated in the listening. And then see, he acted. He acted later on. First, he participated in the listening. Likewise, for us, we have to listen. As they say in societal language, that okay, once you come across a real police person, someone who is proper, who is strict, who is clear, who is not corrupt, who is loyal, then if the administration, uh, every country says, okay, we want honest administration. We want genuine, honest administration. And once we come across a genuine, honest administration, or say a genuine, honest police person, there won't be any crime in society. Although this world of the modes of material nature, this world, so we will expect always some upheaval in this world, definitely. Uh, But the thing is, when a criminal, how big, but if he come across a genuine police officer, he will concede, he will agree to committing the crime. He will agree. He will get reformed. He will want to be okay, change himself, reform himself. Likewise, when we come across a sadhu, a pure devotee of Krishna, we would want to change. We would want to reform. We would realize that we are fallen. We are so conditioned. So see, prayer should be not okay, Krishna, show me to yourself, reveal yourself to me. No, that is good. That is good. But the the lofty, the best prayer is, kindly send me your representative, kindly send me a pure devotee, help me appreciate devotee association. Uh, We go in such loop, na look, hardly we read for 2 hours, hardly we study for 2 hours now. And even if say 2 hours study, reading, little bit of japa we do, then again our mind goes where? Same old shopping, what's going on YouTube, what is happening here, there, what prices happening, all those same things only. Who is doing what, who said what, all those. uh, What any difference? We have to really go very deep in our bhajan, very, very deep in our japa. Otherwise, we are just losing time. Time is just passing by in front of us. Uh, We have to go very subtle, very subtle. We have to plan our lives properly. It's not like that there's no room for planning. No, we have to plan our study, job, family, everything we have to plan very specifically, very categorically to attain Krishna. That doesn't mean we do not make plans. No, we plan, Baba. Otherwise, like, okay, where is that participation on our part if we do not plan, say? Of course, Krishna will sanction whatever he wants to sanction, but from our side, we must show some commitment, na? Otherwise, where do we show the commitment or dedication or sincerity? So we have to plan. See, practicing Krishna consciousness, we should not be like practicing like a silent spectator. We discussed once, na? Someone admires Bhagavad Gita. huh? Someone participates in Bhagavad Gita. Which one is better? Admiring Krishna consciousness or participating in Krishna consciousness? Uh, This is a question. Which is better? Admiring Krishna consciousness philosophy principles teachings or participating in that philosophy principles teachings? Which is better?
Participation.
Uh, Of course. Admirance, we don't want to be silent listeners na, from a distance. Uh, Build up our faith through good japa, good association. So admiring should lead us next what? Participating. Participating should lead us next what? Practicing. Practicing should lead us next what? Living. Uh, Not just hung up at mental platform. No. Not just hung up at intellectual platform. We want to be the realized platform is what we want to attain. Pure wisdom. So living the philosophy, not just talking. And it has to become our first nature altogether. A sadhaka should experience separation. If he cannot experience separation, then can check what sadhana am I doing. Okay, any thoughts, questions, or comments? Okay, we'll leave it here then. We'll continue tomorrow from 18 chapter text 4 onwards. Huh? Thank you very much for joining. Hare Krishna.